This is Financially Fit Radio with Corey Sickles from Safe Harbor Retirement Group. When a part of your financial strategy is out of tune, your long-term goals, your retirement savings, and your legacy can all suffer. With many years of experience in the financial industry, Corey provides his clients and prospects with the information they need regarding Social Security, retirement income planning, wealth management, and much more. Listen in as we address your financial concerns and provide helpful solutions to put you on the path to achieving your retirement goals. And now, here is Financially Fit Radio with Corey Sickles.
Welcome to another episode of Financially Fit Radio. I'm Corey Sickles, representing the team here at Safe Harbor Retirement Group and Wealth Advisors. If you'd like more information about the insights on today's show, don't hesitate to reach out to us. You can give us a call at 614-760-0670 or visit us online at safeharboroh.com. And while you're exploring our website, be sure to navigate to that radio page. There you can catch up on previous shows and even subscribe to our program through popular podcast platforms such as Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, Google Podcast, or Spotify. For engaging visual content on various financial subjects, feel free to drop by our YouTube page as well. Just search for Safe Harbor Retirement Group. And you can also watch our radio show, Financially Fit, on YouTube as well. You know, we're here to address any inquiries you might have or to arrange either an in-person or virtual meeting. Remember, all of our meetings are complimentary and carry no obligation. Your financial well-being is our priority, so let us know how we can assist you the best. Well, today I want to take some time talking about filling your income gap in retirement. There's a few different ways that we're going to be able to talk about that today. But before we dive into that topic, let me introduce to you my co-host this week and every week, and that's Tony Shore. Tony, how are you today?
I am doing great, Corey. Great to be here. I'm excited about the show today. How are things there?
Things are good, Tony. Things are good. You know, it's hard to believe, we're already here in December, and 2023 is coming to an end. 2024 is coming right around the corner here. And, for us, actually November and December and January are pretty busy months. So, we have, of course, clients that are wanting to retire. We have Medicare annual enrollment going on here right now. And then, as soon as the first of the year hits, people start wanting to talk about, their taxes and all that type of stuff and in retirement. So, yeah, this is the last month here of 2023 and the first couple months of 2024 are really busy months for us.
Yeah, I imagine. I mean, obviously you keep busy, but this is a really busy time of year. I do love this time of year with Thanksgiving. That happened, and now we've got other holidays coming up. It's just a great season. I've gotten a lot done lately, so I'm feeling pretty good about myself. Got the garage cleaned out, and I know you've been keeping busy as well. So what's our topic for today? Where do you want to begin?
Well, I think we're going to talk about filling the income gap in retirement. And I really think where we need to begin, Tony, is what am I really talking about, right?
Right.
And really what we're talking about is this. Let's just say you have a budget of $4,000 a month. And that's the kind of income that you want to bring in on a monthly basis. And let's just say you're bringing in $2,500 a month from Social Security. And then I'm going to assume you have no other pensions or anything like that. So you're basically about $1,500 short of what you actually need in order to, pay your monthly expenses.
Right.
That's the income gap that we're actually talking about. And what I kind of want to do today is kind of talk about ways that you're going to be able to fill that gap to make sure that you have what you need on a monthly basis. But more importantly, to make sure that you have that also going forward, right? I just read an article from Forbes. Social Security this year is going up 3.2%.
Yep. Inflation
is somewhere right around 3.2 to 3.7%. Medicare premiums are going up 5.2%. And we know groceries and all this type of stuff, right? So at the end of the day, if depending on what percentage Social Security is of your actual retirement, you need to make more money, this year or up to, in 2024 than you made in 2023. to keep up with inflation and all the other things. So really, how are you going to be able to fill that gap, not only next year, but, years going forward, because things are going to keep going up, Tony. I mean, that's just reality. And,
right.
and
Social Security, the cost of living adjustment they give you for Social Security, even when it was 8.7% last year, the 3.2% people are getting this year, Corey, like you say, that's not going to cover the increased costs, all the increased costs for people, is it?
It is not. And I just think one of the hardest things for people to realize is when you start putting together financial plans, but more importantly, income planning, just because you need $4,000 a month today, you have to put like a 3%, 2.5% COLA on that every year going forward. So I just know this: if you're making $50,000 today, you need to make $75,000 15 years from now to keep up with inflation, to have the same spending power. And if you don't have a plan that's going to be able to take that into consideration, you have some serious, issues about potentially running out of money later on in life.
Yeah, and that's the big fear we all have. We want to make sure we have enough money to last us throughout our retirement, to last as long as we live, and hopefully even have some left over to pass along. But for sure, you don't want to run low or out of money in retirement. That's key, and I know that's the number one fear amongst retirees, and that's what you do for your clients. You help them prepare before retirement so they're prepared for these things when they're in retirement, right?
That's correct. And and whether you're trying to get in retirement or whether you are retired, you still have a major concern about being able to fill that income gap. And I think it's very crucial that you take the time, consult with a financial advisor, just like me or someone else, because we're going to be able to create a personalized retirement plan based upon your unique financial situation, right? And a big portion of that's going to be that income plan. We're going to meet with you, at least on an annual basis. We're going to review that, and we're going to be able to adjust some of those circumstances as things change. Maybe, you get divorced, or maybe you get married, or maybe your spouse passes away. Things happen. And believe me, it's going to be a lot easier on you if you're working with a financial advisor that knows your situation and can create a plan for you to be able to take advantage of, to make sure that you do have the retirement that you dream of or wish of.
Yeah, and I think that's critical. And obviously, if you have a plan, when you make plans for your clients and people you meet with, I know when you meet with our listeners out there, if they set up a consultation, you're going to set them up with a plan that takes into account inflation and things of that nature, right?
Yes, exactly right. We're definitely going to take inflation into consideration. You have to. Things are going to keep increasing over time. And, so the first thing I kind of want to the next thing I kind of want to talk about, Tony, is kind of where do we start, right? And really what we have to be able to look at is we need to really look at your expenses and your detailed budget, right? Are there ways to be able to cut expenses? I mean, that's a question everyone, we need to be able to look at. Maybe when you're working, you're not so much concerned about a budget. You constantly have an income coming in. But, when you retire, now it's basically you have to create your income, whether it's from Social Security or your retirement accounts and things like that. So you need to know exactly what those monthly expenses are and what that monthly budget is in order to make sure that you can pay all those on a month in and month in basis. So that's crucial. The other part of it is, we've talked about Social Security all the time. That's going to be the foundation. That's kind of where we're going to be able to lay it, lay your income plan on, really to start with that.
Yeah.
We can always talk about whether you're maximizing it or not. We're just going to assume you're taking Social Security. That's fine. And now we're going to start talking about ways to be able to meet that difference between Social Security and maybe your pension and what you actually need on that monthly income. And I really think one of the first things we really should look at is, from a product standpoint, Tony, is going to be a fixed indexed annuity.
So that's another vehicle that could possibly help fill that income gap if you don't have a pension, or there's a gap between what you need if you take your Social Security and your pension. there's a way to create income that will be there every month utilizing some of these tools, right?
That's exactly right. So what you're going to be able to do is put a lump sum of money, maybe roll in a retirement account, or maybe you have money in the bank account. It doesn't really matter as long as it's a lump sum coming in. And we're going to be able to research and find out what's going to be the best, product for you to be able to generate that lifetime income. There's a lot out there, for example, that you can generate immediately. Maybe you want to wait 1 year or 2 years or 3 years or 4 years. Our job is really to sit down and find the best type of product that's going to fit your needs, and then we implement that into your portfolio. And again, the nice part about a fixed indexed annuity is we've talked about it on the show before. When you invest, you get to invest that money in there as well. When the market's up, you actually make money. But more importantly, when the market's negative, Tony, you don't lose any money. So you don't have any risk, from the downside of the market, which we've experienced, a few times here over the last, few years.
Right. Yeah. So obviously, annuities, they're different. Everybody's situation is different, and there are a lot of different types of annuities out there, Corey. So people want to make sure, and now they've improved them so much. Certain annuities by certain companies are so beneficial and have so many perks and upsides. You want to make sure that you're getting the right annuity for you. And low or no fee annuities are out there. They can provide monthly income. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, of course, everyone's situation is different. Our job is to be, our job, Tony, is really to be able to, first of all, educate our clients. There's so many people that come in that have some type of an annuity, and they have really no idea really what it means to them. And, when we sit down and kind of explain what you have, but more importantly, if we're going to recommend something, we want to make sure that you understand what you're actually investing into, to make sure you at least understand the high levels of it, of the way that annuity does work, and more importantly, the benefits it's going to provide you when you're in retirement as well. That's probably the biggest key is, how does it work and what's the benefit to me? And we want to make sure that you understand that.
Well, yeah, and I think that there are a lot of different options on where to put your money and how to make that money work for you during retirement. And I know as a fiduciary, Corey, you look at all the different options to figure out what's going to fit each individual's needs, right?
That's exactly right. I mean, our job is to meet with everybody, make sure we understand what your goals are, and then be able to recommend products and solutions that are going to, meet your demands, not only short term, but long term as well. So anyway, Tony, annuities are always good. I think everyone should have a little bit of their money into an annuity. It's a great way to be able to limit your market risk, as well as be able to potentially generate that lifetime income if that's the option we want to choose there as well. So, Tony, a few other things I kind of want to talk about. Let's just say you are retired today, right? And, maybe you already have an annuity, but maybe there's other things that you need to be able to generate a little bit more income just for the fact to be able to keep up with inflation. And really what I want to kind of talk about are really some of the portfolios that we actually can offer our clients that's, through Safe Harbor Wealth Advisors and through Gradient Investments. There's some things that we can actually provide that's going to be able to help you generate some type of income. If that's, again, I'm focusing more on the income side, maybe not so much on the growth side of it today. But, one of the portfolios that we have, through Gradient Investments at Safe Harbor Wealth Advisors is what we call our Gradient 50. And basically it's 50 blue chip stocks. And here's the nice part about this. They all pay dividends. And right now, this portfolio is actually paying about 2.7% in dividends. So really what I'm talking about here, Tony, is, of course, the stock price is going to go up or down. Who knows what that's going to end up happening? So your investment will go up or down. But more importantly, it actually pays out about 2.7% per year in dividends that you can actually use as income without touching any of your actual shares that you have within your portfolio. So it's a great way to be able to generate some income as well as hopefully long-term get some long-term growth on those stocks as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And so obviously it depends on your time horizon, how much risk your money is at. So risk plays a part in figuring out how to fill this income gap too, doesn't it?
Oh, it does. I mean, risk is a big part of it. So if we're able to maybe put some money into an annuity, then you got to have something within the stock portfolio as well, to be able to generate that. But we take all that in consideration when we start allocating, certain things for you. But, there's a lot of listeners out there too that probably have money sitting in the account. And one thing the listeners are probably saying is, well, I can make 5% today in a bank, in a CD, right? That's what their interest rates are.
Sure.
How's that going to help your income this year? If you're in a 1 year or 2 year CD, you're not going to be able to take any money out of that until the end of the year, right? I mean, you're going to get the guaranteed growth, but it's not going to help your actual income needs out this year. So, our G50 is one. We have a stable value, Tony. We have a stable value, which is really our lowest risk investment that we do have. Right now, most of it's invested in U.S. Treasuries, but it's actually netting a little bit over 5% per year.
Wow!
Right now, right? Then here's the beauty of it: it's completely liquid.
Wow!
So there's no penalties. You don't have to, wait on that. Of course, if you keep it in there for the year, you're going to make some yield off of that. But it's a great way to be able to, have a good, decent return. But more importantly, have it liquid, not tied up for a year or 2 years. But I think that's a pretty good investment. And again, that's through Gradient Investments that that we actually partner with. We talked about the G50 for a second. That's paying about 2.7%. We have an international fund. It's called our G40. It's 40 stocks that actually do nothing but pay dividends as well. Right now, it's paying dividends around 3.5%. So it's a great way, again, to be able to invest, have some money, come in, take those dividends to help fill some of those income needs. And then, the last one I kind of want to talk about is our absolute yield portfolio that we actually have as well. Now, this one is you're going to be investing in some preferred stocks, high yield bonds, maybe some mortgage REITs or maybe some real estate REITs. Right now, it's yielding about 7.5%. And again, a lot of these numbers I'm throwing out, those all can change based upon, with the market. But I'm just telling some of the current yields that we're actually receiving on that. And again, time you invest in any of these types of things, they can go up or down, right? And But here's my whole point is we have portfolios that we can actually work with you in where it can actually generate monthly income for you and without really touching the principal, with your money. So it's a great way to be able to fill that income gap, hopefully get some long-term growth off of that as well, but more importantly, fill that income gap need that you need today.
Yeah. Yeah, and filling the income gap is so important. And you're talking about various portfolios and different ways to do that. I'm sure our listeners have questions. Is an annuity right for me? Should I have more money in maybe these different portfolios? Talk about the liquidity option. So how can our listeners get a hold of you and set up that complimentary, no charge, no obligation consultation?
Yeah, no problem. For our listeners out there, just give us a call at 614-760-0670, or you can always visit us online at safeharboroh.com. And, we're here to help and guide you to make sure that you have the retirement that you want. The best way, is to set up a complimentary, no obligation meeting with us. We'll look at your financial plan if you have one, provide our second opinion. And if you don't have one, we'll put one in place. It's so important that you have a financial plan, but it's so important. It's even more important to make sure that you know what type of income plan that you're going to have in retirement, because the one thing you don't want to do is run out of money. We're really here to help and guide you to make sure that doesn't happen, and then be able to put you in a situation where you can enjoy your retirement. Again, give us a call at 614-760-0670 or visit us online at safeharboroh.com. Well, Tony, we've been talking about ways to be able to fill that income, gap while you're in retirement or planning for retirement. And I think one of the things that I kind of want to jump into now, a lot of people, some people don't mind it, some people will mind it. At some point you might actually have to go out and get a part-time job.
Yeah. Yep. Going back to work is one way to help fill the income gap if you run into one in retirement. I know a lot of people might groan, hey, that's not retirement then. I don't want to go back to work. But there are some good options when it comes to working in retirement, right? If you want to work part-time, find a job doing something you love, right?
Yeah, and here's the one part about it. Since COVID hit, your part-time job, you might just be sitting in your house.
Yeah.
So,
true.
You know what I mean? So maybe you can go out and get some freelance work or something like that. But, that's always one way to be able to do it. One of the toughest things to do is, you always have that option to maybe downsize your house. There's more and more people doing that. Or cut your expenses. But, cutting the expenses could be tough. Hopefully you kind of already have the lean budget that you're working on. But of course, if you're, spending way too much, or that's always one thing you can also look at as well. But, there's so many more people that actually have those part-time jobs. And right now, another good way to be able to potentially save money is to make sure that you're having someone review your Medicare plan. We have specialists that kind of look at that for you. It's amazing on how people don't actually check their prescription plans every year, because the way the companies bounce them around from tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 companies, there's a good chance that if you actually review your prescription plan, you could save $200, $300, $400, $500 a month just by switching plans and saving some money.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that makes perfect sense. I think that's great. You have to look at what's available out there. And I love how you're just going over all these different options. And when I think of working in retirement, it's great because I know that I love my job. And so even if I retire, I can continue to do it part-time, but there are so many great options for that as well. So I just think that makes a lot of sense for a lot of people.
It does. I don't know, I don't know when I'll actually retire, Tony. I mean, I like what I do.
Yeah.
Maybe I do phase a little bit out of it and let, maybe I still own the company and things like that. But we'll time will tell. But, I like what I do. And there's a lot of people out there that, they'll never retire. At the end of the day, we're here to help and guide you and make sure that you have the best retirement that you can. Income planning's so vital. It's the easy part, hopefully, has been saving. The hard part is to be able to actually have a monthly income in retirement and to make sure that it doesn't go away, right? You don't want to run out of money. Right. And our job is to make sure that that doesn't happen and to work with you to have the best retirement that you can. So hopefully, today you learned something on how to be able to fill that income gap. We talked about a lot of different things, but at the end of the day, it's my job to work with you and provide those solutions. These are just, some things that we talked about for you to think about that you might have an interest in.
All right. Well, Corey, one more time before we go, let our listeners know how they can get a hold of you.
Yep, 614-760-0670, or visit us online at safeharboroh.com. You can schedule complimentary, no-obligation meetings with us. And, we're here to help to make sure that you have the retirement that you want. So just give us a call to set up that complimentary meeting with us.
All right. Sounds great. And listeners, that does it for today's episode of Financially Fit Radio with our host, Corey Sickles.
Join us next week for another episode of Financially Fit Radio.
Thank you for listening to Financially Fit Radio. Don't pay too much for taxes or retire without a sound income plan. For more information, contact Corey Sickles at Safe Harbor Retirement Group. Call 614-760-0670 or visit their website at financiallyfitoh.com.
All matters discussed during the show are for informational purposes only. Each individual situation may vary, and the opinions expressed here may not apply to everyone. Materials presented are believed to be from reliable sources, and no representations can be made as to its accuracy. All ideas and information should be discussed in detail with one of our qualified representatives prior to implementation. We are not affiliated with or endorsed by the Social Security Administration, the Federal Medicare Program, or any other government agency. Calling this number will direct you to a licensed sales agent.